Ever since the release of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, I've been aware of the view that the gaming community have had on this game, but when I was searching through Steam, looking for some nice juicy Black Friday deals, I saw that particular game for a very cheap price. And the price was £3. Well, technically £2.99. And when I saw this price, I was simply shocked. I wasn't expecting it to be this dirt cheap. It was like when you hear an ice cream van coming up the road during winter. I wasn't really expecting it. I mean, for a AAA game that came out just 10 months ago at the start of 2024, to be that cheap during the same calendar year, it just absolutely blew me away. So given all the bad press what was surrounding this game, it left me with the groundbreaking question: should I spend £3, $2.99 on this game? And the answer is, well, yeah, obviously, that's why this video exists. Now, before I get into this game, I just want to mention I only played 7.5 hours of this game, and this isn't like an official review or anything like that, because I don't think the amount of time that I've put into the game can really justify like a proper in-depth review. I just want to ask the question whether this massive flop of a AAA game is worth so little. And the main reason why I didn't want to invest too much time into this game is because I wanted to get the video out there before the sale ends, because I'm just nice like that. Oh yeah, and about an hour and a half of that 7.5 hour playtime is spent mainly messing about with the settings, because my performance was just playing about so much, and apparently according to others, they also had a lot of performance issues, but thankfully in the end it worked out fine. But anyone with no knowledge on this game, you have 4 playable characters. Those 4 characters are Deadshot, Harley Quinn, King Shark, and Captain Boomerang. And each character has their own set of unique abilities when it comes to combat and traversal. To start everything off, I can tell you about the story, but I'm gonna be honest, I was barely interested and skipped the majority of the cutscenes because I simply wanted to crack on with the gameplay. And the story is, you pretty much have to take out the entire Justice League because they've become evil. And there may be some of you out there who aren't happy that I didn't give the story a proper go, and for that, I am very much sorry for my deeply unforgivable sin. However, I don't really think I've missed out on a Scorsese masterclass. I feel like a reason for me struggling with the story was because some of the characters, and when I say characters, I mean character, because Captain Boomerang was doing my fucking head in. I mean, I feel like it's fairly obvious that Boomerang's meant to be this annoying character who you're meant to struggle to put up with, but it shouldn't be to the point where I'm desperate to skip cutscenes because I just want to avoid his dialogue at all costs. In fact, I was planning on mainly using Captain Boomerang the most throughout my entire playthrough, as I liked his traversal and his combat too. Yet if I used him as my main, that means I would have had to put up with more of his disastrous dialogue, so I just had to fuck him off. Now, when it comes to the gameplay, I thought it was quite decent. It wasn't anything to exactly rave about, but it was very solid and did the job. I mean, I think it's quite fair to say that the gameplay is definitely the best aspect of this game. I mainly used Deadshot throughout my entire playthrough, and that was simply because I liked his traversal and being able to mix it in with the combat. I just liked that element. I don't know why. It's completely nothing like it, but it low-key just reminded me of like Black Ops 3, when you could have, you know, the exo jumpsuit, whatever it was called, and fly around and using combat. It kind of made me feel like that again, but like maybe third person, you know? It just brought me back to those days, so I enjoyed it a lot. Again, there is 4 playable characters, but other than the tutorial, I didn't really use Harley Quinn and King Shark. I used them in the tutorial because you have to, but after that, I think I used them once, maybe twice. I wasn't really that fond of them compared to Deadshot. And when it comes to the combat, you got the classic ways of shooting, you got melee, you got counters, and you got special maneuvers. And at first, I was really fond of the gameplay and found it very satisfying and fun, but unfortunately, it's just not built on that much. Because what I mean, after a few missions, you've pretty much seen it all and done it all in terms of gameplay. And unfortunately, the repetitiveness doesn't stop there, because it's also rinse and repeat when it comes to the mission structure. I mean, every mission was pretty much just defend this certain object in a certain area for a certain amount of time, and then just get rid of these waves of enemies. That was pretty much the basic of every single mission that I experienced. Unfortunately, every mission I completed didn't feel any different from the last one. It just felt like an endless loop. And when you mix in repetitive mission structure and repetitive gameplay, it's safe to say that the game becomes stale quite quickly. And again, I spent less than 10 hours on this game. Now, there is a point where missions become a bit different, but before I get into that, I have got to mention it contains spoilers. See, I am nice to you lot, aren't I? So when you have to kill a member of the Justice League, that's when the mission structure changes to sort of like the boss structure, however you want to call it. I only got one boss done in this entire playthrough, so I would imagine, again, we keep the boss fights a bit more unique compared to the standard missions, but I can't exactly tell you for sure because, again, I didn't get that far into the game. The Flash is the first member of the Justice League that you have to take out, and in terms of the actual gameplay itself, it's just he throws a big blast at you every now and again, and he throws a few tornadoes at you, and you just have to keep on countering him, and that's about it. That's the depth to go to. It lasts probably about 5 minutes or so. And then once you've killed the Flash, Boomerang decides to piss on him for some odd reason. The visuals in this game are absolutely stunning. I think the character models for every character is done well, and the world itself looks brilliant, and the gun models also look very clean too. But my problem with the world itself is just that it gets put into the back of your mind, really. Like, at no point in my playthrough was I encouraged by the map or world itself to go and do something else or explore or try out a new mission. I just stuck on the same path of trying to get every single main mission done with. And maybe I'm going to have a few people say, oh, well, you should put the effort in to go out there and go and explore and try new things and whatnot. Yes, but at the same time, the game needs to make it encouraging for you. You know, you've got to want to go and explore and try new things. You shouldn't feel like you have to. And it's a shame too, because the map's really well done and is very high detailed in my opinion. Even the ground, but it doesn't really mean much because you spend most of your time jumping from building top to building top and don't really spend much time at all on the ground. Unfortunately, it goes into the same category as many other open world games from the past 10 years, where it just falls flat and just doesn't feel like it should have been an open world game to begin with. Overall, I don't think Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is a bad game. I just think that it's a boring one. The game itself just feels quite below average, and that's quite a kick in the teeth because I feel like there's so much more what could have been done. And now for the grand price of £2.99, I would say that this game is worth it. I would say this game becomes not worth it if it's anything over 15 quid, $15, whatever the currency may be. That is when I'd say, yeah, maybe this game isn't worth getting. I think anything from below 15 quid is quite justifiable and fair. And I'll be honest, I don't think I'll ever complete this game, but I feel like if you're a hardcore DC fan, then you would be able to invest a lot of time into this game. Because to me, it just seems like one of those games that you can play for an hour here and there and be quite satisfied with. Well, that's it from me, guys. I'm eager to know what you guys think about Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Again, it's been about 10 months now, and there's a lot of bad press around it. I want to know what you guys think about the game. It can be positive, it can be negative. Give me your genuine thoughts on the game, because I am very much interested in the opinions of others. Thank you for watching the video, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.